Hi there, my name's Edel Coffey. I'm an Irish author and journalist, and my debut novel, Breaking Point, is out now. This is it. Breaking Point tells the story of two women and how they've each kind of reached their personal breaking points. And the book really looks at what brought them there and tells their different stories and how they intersect. I hope it's a really gripping, really pacey, thrilling read that will keep you turning the pages until the last minute. Anyway, but I'm not here to talk about my book. I want to talk to you about some other books that I've really enjoyed in the last while and that I would highly recommend. The first one is this book by Claire Keegan. It's called Small Things Like These. Every book that Claire Keegan brings out is kind of this little gift for us, her readers, who await everything she writes. And she publishes very infrequently, so it's such a reward when we do get something from her, and it's always worth the wait. This book, Small Things Like These, it tells the story of a man called Bill Furlong, who is a really good and decent man, and it's set around Christmas time, and he discovers this young woman. He's delivering coal. He's a coal merchant, and it's set in the 80s, and he is delivering coal one evening around Christmas. I think it's Christmas Eve from memory, and he discovers a young woman sort of locked in the coal shed up in the local convent. And the story kind of goes from there. And as you can see, it's a very slim novel. You'll read it very quickly. I read it in one go, and I've read it 3 times because I love it so much. But it's just so beautiful, and it says so much about Irish people, so much about humanity and who we are and the choices we have to make in our lives and the effect they have on people. So I could not recommend this more. It is my favorite book of 2021, and I enjoyed it immensely. I hope you do too. The other book I wanted to mention is this one called Hidden Lies. It's by another Irish writer called Rachel Ryan, and this is a real page turner. And it's kind of a psychological thriller. It's about this woman whose mother has died. She's got a little boy, and the little boy comes to her one day and says, I was speaking to my new granny, and there's this, we don't know if it's an invisible friend or if it's a figment of the child's imagination or if it's a real person. And as you go through the book, things start to happen, and she's doubting herself, and there's lots of red herrings, which I really enjoyed. I was certain I had it all figured out, but I didn't until the end. And it's a really interesting look at motherhood, actually, and the sort of the positive and negative sides of it, and also the things that exist in our cultural past, in our history in Ireland as well, and the effects that they may have on people. So well worth a read. I think it's a debut as well, so it was really good. I flew through that. I read it over Christmas last year, and I loved it. The other one I thought I'd mention is this book. It's called And in the End, and it's by Ken McNabb. It's not a new book, but I thought it might be one that people might like to go back to after watching the Beatles documentary, the Peter Jackson documentary that was on Disney Plus a while back there as well, because it featured just such amazing footage. I know 9 hours seems like a lot of hours for a documentary, but once you start watching it, you'll find that you're really into it and you can't stop watching. I loved every single minute of the footage of the Beatles. It was amazing to see them in such an intimate setting in their studios, in their Apple studios, and up on that roof, that famous performance. So it was just wonderful to see, and to see how they worked creatively. Anyway, if like me, you were really missing that documentary when it finished, this is a book to get your teeth stuck into. And the other book I wanted to mention, but I don't have a copy of it with me because I read it on Kindle, is Catherine Ryan Howard's 56 Days. Again, this book it did brilliantly last year. It was recommended in the New York Times as one of their crime books or thriller books, I can't remember which, for 2021, which was an amazing achievement for an Irish author. And I read it soon after that, and I could see exactly why it was there. It had fully earned its place as one of the books of the year. It was set in the pandemic. It's about these two people who meet, and they meet just before the first lockdown, and they're starting to date, and they decide, okay, let's sort of lock down together, because if we don't, we won't see each other. The book is incredible. It has so many surprises, so many twists and turns. Even when you think Catherine Ryan has revealed something to you, uh, it hasn't been revealed to you. You just think you know what she's written, but actually she's got another turn for you after each twist and turn. So it's just a really satisfying read. It leaves you feeling quite morally ambiguous. You kind of don't know who's the person you're rooting for at the end. It's a really interesting one, really intriguing, from this incredible writer who goes from strength to strength. And she's amazingly prolific, and I'm looking forward to seeing what her next book is. Anyway, I've been Edel Coffey. I hope you enjoy some of those recommendations. If you'd like to read my book, again, it's called Breaking Point and it's out now. Thank you.